Welcome back to the show. Thank you very much for joining us. If you just tune in, you're watching the Good Morning Gambia show, and we are live in our studios on MDI Road. It is now time to discuss the topic that we, mentioned to you earlier at the beginning of the program. And yes, Mr. Mamor Alinjai, am I right? Momar Alinjai. Yes, Momar Abdullah Njai. Yes, is it a fana name?
You can say that.
Yes, he is a documentary, maker and a musician as well. So the discussion will center around the film industry. He intends to, venture into documentary production to at least sell the Gambia or to show the Gambia to the world. What does the Gambia entails? What is embedded in the country? The narratives and all that. So, but he is here to discuss these things and tell the viewers exactly what he meant by venturing into this domain. That is the essence of having him here. We know it is of interest to the public to know, definitely, because this is also another sector or another industry that is also important for us to explore. So, just to establish the guest, Mr. Njai, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Ibrahima. Good morning, Bakari. Thank you very much for having me on Good Morning, Gambia.
All right. Sure. Tell us, first of all, what do you mean by this documentary, or what is your intention, or how have you conceived the idea of venturing into documentary production or film production? Basically, what do you also want to focus on generally in this aspect?
So, my name is Mama Abdullah Njai. I'm from Sarakunda Lion House.
Okay.
I am an aspiring documentary maker, a entrepreneur, and also a musician.
Okay.
So basically, I just finished my first project called World Industries Mcadi Presents the Gambia, in which I traveled from Katong to Koina, basically filming and showing basically the Gambia as it is, showing the lifestyle, showing the culture, showing the traditions, to people who've never heard of the Gambia before. So basically, our objective is to sell the Gambia to the outside world, so we would have more expatriates returning back home, more tourists and investors coming to the Gambia.
I think this is important because it's in a way it is also by way of changing the narratives in terms of what the world knows us for and what we stand for might be different. Sometimes people might attribute the Gambia or know the Gambia for a country that is a less developed country, though fine, yes, but then the lot of odds that you normally see about the Gambia might not also always be the case. Sometimes we might have good things also. We have, beautiful environment, rich culture, so many things that are exciting to know about the Gambia. Probably you want to factor all those things in your project. But first of all, tell us, who are your collaborators? How far have you gone in this production?
So I am an independent filmmaker. At this point, I don't have any collaborations, even though I did try to get paid partners and collaboration association, but unfortunately that was not possible.
Okay.
So like you said earlier, the documentary basically shows the Gambia. Like, we're trying to change the narratives because there were times that I seen documentaries about the Gambia that were not positive. So as a Gambian, I made it my objective to film something that would show Gambia in a positive light. Yeah, so basically we travel from Katong to Koina, showing the tradition, showing the culture, the lifestyle, the music. Because there's this documentary that I've seen recently about the 90-day fiancé visa. I don't know whether you've seen it.
Yeah.
So this portrays Gambia more of like let's say, like sex tourism. But there's more to Gambia than they show us.
Sure.
So, and these people that make these documentaries are not Gambians. So who better to tell the Gambia than a young Gambian, filming a documentary about the Gambia. So that's how I kind of came up with the idea. So the second part of it was basically I worked in a hotel as a front office assistant manager. So through that, I always had people coming in asking me, okay, when we come to Gambia, what could we do? Where could we go? So as an entrepreneur, I made it my objective, to film something that before you ask me all of these questions, I would have it all set.
Okay.
So once you come in, basically you know exactly what the places of interest are, how we live, what the cultures are, what the tribes are, what the traditions are. So you will know Gambia from a Gambian.
Quite important, especially for destination Gambia. The GT board might be interested in this. Just currently or recently, we see the Gambia, being named among the top in terms of the World Travel, Association or market that is currently being held in London. This kind of initiative might be, or the products might be important to demonstrate in those kind of meetings. When the Gambia goes outside to showcase, the products and services that we have in the Gambia, in terms of what we envisage or what we are trying to preach out to the world that we stand for. This kind of documentary might definitely help. I don't know about how far you have gone in this thing. I'm still interested to know, because this might be capital intensive, number one. You know, to produce a film, you require so many elements to combine together. Probably you want to venture into having the concept, to write the project, you know, have the idea, everything put together, and then probably you might want to sell it out to someone, or partners or investors to develop.
Definitely, because what happened was when I was in post-production, I did approach the Gambia Tourism Board, the Minister of Tourism, the Gambia Hotel Association, and NCAC to either do a collaboration or an association. But unfortunately, what they told me was that that they were not in a position to support my project. You know,
why? Was you know what supporting?
I mean, to be honest, I think this is going to be one of the best documentaries the Gambia has seen. But since that happened, that was maybe sometime last year. So what happened was, recently I seen that they were working with some Nigerian influencers to promote the Gambia. You know, so these are the concepts that I kind of felt in working on this documentary. I mean, it was really expensive filming this documentary, you know, because if one does the research and see how much it costs to film a documentary per minute, it's really expensive. But, you know, what I said was, if I don't believe in myself and invest in myself, who's going to believe in me? So apart from GT Board and all of them, I approached almost 100 businesses here in the Gambia for paid partnerships. You know, it wasn't like I was going out asking for money. It was more, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to filming, it's really expensive. But what we need to do is we need to look into this market, because filming itself and production is something that can bring a lot to Gambia. Now, you can see a lot of people creating content online, how much they can make of their content. You know, so we lack resources. You know, so we need to work on that. And what we need to do is build a foundation. For example, like we need to have like a art school, which is like basically doing film, music, and whatever does with art. You know, because I believe that if we have those foundations, having like an art school in the Gambia, that could be very helpful. For example, if you look at Senegal, they have a music school. So a lot of people has gone through, so people understand what they're doing. You know, so when it came to this, it was very difficult, you know, but at the end of the day, we just kind of like look forward, and then, you know, the project is all completed.
That's quite right. Thank you very much once again, Mr. Njai. As a documentary maker and a musician, who cajoled you, or who cajoled you, or how did this dream came to you as a documentary maker and a musician? Who cajoled you first, and how does this dream came to you?
So basically, you know, when I was going to school, let's say college in England, you know, so how this started up was like I went to school with a lot of Zambians. So people mistaken Zambia for Gambia. You know, so at that point was the first time I had the idea of that. I wanted to do a documentary about Gambia. I didn't know when I was going to film it, you know, but I just had that vision of like, one day I'm going to do this. So it was like during the COVID times, you know, after COVID, because like where I was working was the COVID center, and I wasn't going to be like staying there because my mom has high blood pressure, you know. So that's when I kind of like quit my job then, and then I said I wanted to do a documentary. So I started doing my research, because it takes time. It actually took me 18 months to film this project, but it wasn't like 18 months straight, because what happens is you're trying to find content. Like you have to, for example, like let's say December is when Banjul is really busy. So you go to Banjul, you can get the hunting, you can get the kankurangs. Let's say during Easter, that's when you get the packings. In January, when that's when you go to what's it called, the Janjanbureh festival. You know, so I had the vision for some time, but it was like.
Are these pictures part of the things that you produce? Or?
Yes, definitely. This is part. This was in Banjul. This was in Tanje. So we're capturing the Gambia locally. You know what I'm saying? Going through the locals, see how we live and grow up in Africa.
Charity begins at home.
Charity begins at home. They say dance here before you dance abroad. So that's when I had the vision, and then I just recently accomplished it. You know, so it took me 18 months, but you know, it was like time that I enjoy doing, because it's important to do what you love. You know, so I enjoy doing it, and then the footages that you see, and that's part of the project.
Is a documentary well known in the country? In the combos and
I think it has not been making the rounds yet.
So these are my first rounds, you know. So basically, I just recently completed it on the 25th, because you know it takes time. You know, when you do the marketing and distribution, so you have to register your work, do the copyrights, you know, license your music. So it takes time. It's a process, you know. So now I'm actually doing like, you know, the TV runs, you know, talking about my documentary, showing it. But I'm sending it to film festivals first, because that's the main target.
Exactly.
When you go to film festivals, that's where you get the maximum exposure. Because what happens is you have different filmmakers from around the world that visit there. So these filmmakers can watch the documentary at this film festival, even visit the Gambia. So this is the objective, you know, and the film lovers and documentary lovers, you know. So that was the vision of we had taken to the film festivals. You have, let's say, 5,000 people watch it. If 50 people come to the Gambia, that's a win for us. Because what happens is, if they watch the documentary come, they're going to buy air tickets. When they come to the airport, they're going to pay their fees. They're going to stay in hotels. Locals are going to benefit from it. So it's a win-win for all Gambia. Yeah, so that was the vision that I had for it, you know. So as a citizen, you know, I believe like all of them there were like more neka that do there was suma deka luma defo man lan la defo suma deka, you know. So man time man contribute to my 5 cents towards it.
I'm sure the authorities are watching, and the right authority will definitely want to look into this thing and see where they need to come in and why it has not been, you know, put into consideration like you alluded earlier. Because if it has to do with something that is positive for Gambia, especially in the tourism sector, and at this time of the year when the season is on, I don't see any reason or foreseeable reason as to why it is not, you know, definitely going to be given a tap in the back. But nonetheless, we definitely want to thank him for venturing into this thing and for his effort as well. Those of you who are watching us, you are an entrepreneur or an investor, whatever. Even the government sector also, you can definitely support him and support the Gambia as well, because the ultimate goal is to, you know, sell the Gambia. Very well. Let's now change the narrative or the discussions into the national languages.